people have said that they have started programs in masters. So ma'am was telling, Ramadevi ma'am was saying that, the problem is that in many of these things, right, the curriculum is not very, curriculum is good in theory. A lot of crypto systems, lot of technical stuff is taught, but when it comes to actual practical experience, solving real life cyber security problems, uh, working with real data sets, etc., I think there is a huge gap out there. So the curriculum in theory is good. The basic fundamentals are kind of probably taught, but the next step, which is really the crucial step as far as security is concerned, is basically exposure to practical. This thing is kind of lacking, is what I would say. The other thing is that to my knowledge, there is not the amount of interaction that happens between the industry and academia in India in cybersecurity is not as much as it should be, right? So, for example, many of the problem statements discussing before that, for instance, you do spectrographic analysis of the voice texts, and there are PhDs from Israel in the Israeli universities who are working on that. We don't have that kind of a connect as of now, at least to the extent that is desired. There is a gap. There is a communication gap. There are no problem statements. Data sets, as somebody mentioned, data sets are not shared because of privacy concerns and various regulations and so on. So that actually adds to the lack of training. This thing. What we are good at is basically, solving blue sky problems, so to speak, right? So you would look at things like problems in cryptology, lightweight cryptography. There are so many problems that are in the academic realm. Quantum cryptography, quantum key distribution systems, analysis of their safety, etc. We are good, but when it comes to practical aspects, I think there's a lot to be desired. So that's where I just presented the challenges out here that ails the cyber security scenario in the academia. Opportunities are also there. There are so many skilling that, as people have said, that a lot of skilling needs, and we can do, and so on.
In the field of cybersecurity, I would like you, Dr. Anil, to share with us your insights on digital well-being.
Yeah, digital well-being is a very wide topic, So I've prepared almost like 25 plus slides. So I'll try to slice it, and to basically what we are trying to talk about it is we're trying to personal well-being, your life well-being, your work well-being, your communication well-being, everything comes in. The whole gamut. It doesn't talk about safety and security. It talks about in terms of how to manage your privacy, how to manage your consent. People are very, very funny right now. So if you look at the age that I've come from, I have waited for almost 7 hours to make a telephone call to my mom. It's called trunk call. We never had a dial pad. Then probably I was from a middle class family, high middle class. So I had the opportunity to dial something called a lightning call, which is 6 times the cost of it. And I had to wait for 2 hours. So vis-a-vis now, technology is completely very different. 7 microseconds, you can call. I have a girlfriend called Siri on my phone. I have another girlfriend called Alexa at my home who just dials in 7 microseconds. The world is completely gone. I still remember going to the bank, asking my dad to do a money order. My father used to yell on the phone saying, it take me 2 hours to do that. So you can just sit on your Western commode and do 1 billion transactions right now. So the world has made us much more easier. So basically, the whole idea of trying to talk about digital well-being is to enable us to how better we can use technology. For example, kids, I don't know, some of you are young. They're able to scroll even before they can crawl, right? So people proudly put it on. I'm something very astonishing. I'm a social activist, so I'm a little harsh on how society thinks. How many of your students are in international schools here? Any international school students are there? Nobody? I'm telling you, just open the Instagram and type confession pages and presidents of the institution. You will be surprised and amazed to know what kind of narrative and viewpoint kids have right now. It is beyond your imagination. I'm telling you, if anybody has Instagram, just go and watch. You will not be able to sleep for the next 2 days. And that's the kind of environment that we are into, because there is no formal education system. You're not because if you for example, I had to drive, the police fellow had to wait 30 days of waiting, then test, and then of course I went onto the field to drive. For formal education of how to handle smartphone technology, nobody knows. And it doesn't mean that I say nobody should use smartphone and social media. So see, basically I'm an immigrant, so for me, narrative thought process about how to use technology is quite very different. I never sat with my dad to watch a television. My son comes, who is first engineering, he grabs the remote when I'm watching. I says, bro, communication has changed, thought process and everything has changed. I think we need to be little focused in what we do. So along with technology, a lot of problems came. Fortunately, Chicago just left, so I can talk more nonsense here. So if you look at the crimes that are happening right now, be it romance, be it sextortion, be it anything, or e-commerce fraud, or any fraud, task-based fraud, you just paid for the likes, anything. The recent FedEx scam. How many of you seen today's advertisement on Times of India? How many of you seen the advertisement of this? What is the next ad besides our announcement? Anybody has seen Times of India? Nobody has seen. Yeah. He's talking about FedEx scam. That is where we are right now. FedEx is terrified, being a foreign company, is terrified of what is happening in India, and we have not still waked up. Nobody is woken up. I have written probably thousands of emails and letters, met every person in the almost in 7 states, asking them to create a council and a portal, digital well. We have that content, which we wanted to do. We wanted to institutionalize that. Our advertisement is 1/4 page, calling security professionals like you, and there's a 1/4 page on the left side talking about FedEx scams. Imagine where we are and what we are talking right now. So what I'm trying to talk about is, unfortunately, we are measured by likes and comments. You can be a riffraff or a vagabond, have 100 million followers, and you're respected very heavily only. So I don't have followers. I'm not Upal Balu who like to have more followers. So I'm an idiot who has authored books and Anyway, so what I'm trying to tell is, whatever you're seeing, you're not able to believe right now. You're not able to believe. Because the days have gone from Photoshop to deep fakes. Now AI fakes have come. I'm sorry, the honorable member has actually given a very great presentation, but it takes me less than $50 to spoof an email and an SMS. I can just tell there's a very famous scam which actually happens continuously on a daily basis, that if one of the vice president's finance is out of leave because high network individuals are targeted, it's called spearheading. So what the gambler does is sends an email stating that please transfer money 5 lakhs, because his boss is not there. As soon as he gets a red acceptance mail, he will send a spoofed SMS, you idiot, how much time does it take to forward money? And he will transfer minimum average 5 to 10 lakhs. And I'm telling you, if you go to any cybercrime police stations, average complaint for this fraud is minimum 10 people who are coming and complaining. Imagine, India is a very conservative country. People don't come and complain. Imagine there are hundreds of frauds happening. Sextortion fraud, even task-based fraud. I'm telling you, 96.7% we can quantify. Sanpreet Singh was the IPS officer then. We did a survey. We have found out that all of them are very highly intellectual. I'm telling you, if you have time, cybersecurity professionals, we are talking about great products, we're talking about great technology, but that is not of use to the common man. Is there something that can be built, like wonderful product talking about SIM swapping, identifying, something like that which can be of use to people should be done. Anyway, so I've taken much time. Maybe the next speaker will speak, and if given a chance, then I'll have much more to talk.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anil. So what I'm taking from what you said is basically the decentralization of everything. Decentralization of education, so every influencer now can speak on whatever they want, and thousands, or in India we speak in hundreds of thousands of kids are going to take this as truth. Same thing about journalism. Everyone can be a journalist, post something, regardless if it's true or not. And this is the area of fake news that we're getting into. And of course, the decentralization of crime. I mean, organized crime today is probably accounting for a minimal number of the entire crime that's going on, especially when you look at all those frauds. And I remember, reading the papers and seeing that, like 50 something crores were stolen from a big pharma company. And I'm thinking to myself, if such an amount would have been robbed from a bank, then probably the chairman of the bank, chief of police, head of security, a bunch of people would have been, shown the door and will not be part of the organization. But for some reason, we have the tendency to take things lightly because it's digital, because it's just numbers that move from here to there. And of course, this company, obviously the share stock price down because of this happening. And again, the decentralization of crime is also the decentralization of our accountability. And I would like to hear from Dr. Prashant Mali about the law that is behind it, and maybe allowing or not allowing. And from your experience, what do you think is going to be the future of the law regarding cybercrime?
Cybersecurity and the crime associated with it. As you saw past presentations also, the weakest link which is being talked about constantly is the human dimension. The human dimension of cybersecurity is less talked or never taken as a challenge and worked on it. If you see our researches, if you see our startups, they are majorly based on solution to problems via technology. And the problem today when it comes to the cyber crime industry lies with the human dimension, the human part of it. The majority of the crimes which earlier speakers were talking about lies in the human domain. It is because of social engineering. Cyber is used as aid to commit such kind of crimes. But why is it happening? It's happening because of greed of the person who is the victim. Second is better social engineering of the person who is being trained to do. Working in so many cases, I have found out when we raided a call center, on one floor there was a trainer training how to defraud victims. What should they say? What shouldn't they say? How should they work on their minds? How should they exploit the culture to which they belong to? So, issue is with social engineering. People need to be trained. Awareness is the key. Awareness in vernacular languages is the key. Awareness in rural areas is the key. Now the major frauds are happening in rural areas. Major frauds are happening with educated people. Also, like all the stock market scams are happening with educated people. I have case where person has lost 4.5 CR. 4.5 CR, knowledgeable person. I have a case that day of 7.8 CR. He was ex-stock broker. Just imagine, he was ex-stock broker. He used to work for stock market and he gets conned on this, with an app. And so this too much trusting on technology, which we have all started, has also to be reduced. Too much trusting technology is also leading to too much amount of cyber crimes. See, if you go to mobile phone for every solution, like every solution you try to find one app. So if you try to find one app for everything, or you try to find every answer from Google, then definitely you will get conned by constars, because if you're trying to look for a positive answer from a Google, there are negative people sitting there to exploit your positive search. So this is the simple mentality. So you want to search something, you want to go and for a hotel, and you search about a hotel and what is the price. Somebody else is there who is conning you by a fake phone number. So everything is mapped. Human beings, and now AI is enabling all this to commit frauds. So AI based cybercrime, where AI bots are being used. Now instead of having this Jamtara based people, you will have AI based bots who will actually defraud you, and things have started. AI based gambling is started, AI based betting has started. These are next generation of frauds. Generative AI, Gen AI is the biggest threat right now we are facing in the cyber world. China embezzling your elections is the next frontiers we will all everywhere we will see. How to fight with it is a different challenge altogether. When it comes to law, there are issues. Now, what are law based issues? First of all, in India, when you try to register an FIR, issue starts with there. Police don't want to register FIR. See, there could be many portals you will have. You have cybercrime.gov.in is the portal, but what is it for? It is a complaint portal. You put in your complaint, FIR doesn't get registered. People are very much happy that I have registered a complaint. But where is the FIR? Because the justice starts post FIR. So one is this issue. Second is 1930 is another number which you have. That is one challenge. 1930 you call. Sometimes you don't hear people talking your language. And 1930 is not working after. It works only for 8 to 12 hours. It doesn't work 24 hours. That's a problem. Getting solutions from government machinery, getting justice is the biggest problem which cybercrime. First problem is they don't understand whether they are victim. Second is when they don't understand whether it was a cybercrime. Third is when they go to police will try to shoo away that this is not their jurisdiction. The crime has happened in Japan, so go in Japan and complain, or go in Mumbai and complain. So they'll try to shoo away with 101 different excuses. So these are all challenges what a common man faces. So we need to work weird of this. Next comes law. Law in its own sections is enough. Problem is about implementation. The implementation of law and convictions is a problem because enough people are not punished. Therefore, there is no deterrence of law right now when it comes to cybercrime. Cyber criminals commit cyber crimes in one state, and when they get bail, they go to another state scot-free to commit different other cyber crimes. So it is the whole big gang of cyber criminals operating in whole region. There is a region now established. I have put it on my detailed post is on my LinkedIn. If you can refer to my LinkedIn post, I have given different states and different places and